Rape is an act of sexual intercourse with an individual without consent through force or threat of force. Rape has been long delineated to be caused by lustful sexual desires. The understanding of rape now is a rapist or a victim may be an adult of either gender or a child. True, rape can occur in same-sex intercourse. It is most often committed by a male against a female. All time in many rape trials, the guilt or innocence of the accused hinges on whether or not the victim consented to sexual intercourse. The determination of consent often leads to distressing cross-examination of rape victims in court. In relation with consent, the age of consent to sexual intercourse is commonly set in most countries at between 14 and 18 years, but respectively at age 18 in Nigeria. Vera Uwa Omozwa got raped and murdered in a church where she went to read. Barakat Bello got raped and murdered but in her house. Jennifer also suffered the same fate. Ochania, who died of complications from the prolonged rape, and there are many more underreported cases of rape and domestic violence in the country. The recent rise of rape cases reflects a harsh reminder that no place is considered as the safest, not even our religious homes, as seen in the case of Vera, who was raped and murdered right in the church. Talk more of our educational institutions, like we saw in the case of a 4-year-old Nigerian girl who was suffering from prolonged assault and rape while seeking education. And this is unfortunately sad and scary.
We ride my leg, we cover my mouth, tell me to shut up. After break, it's time to wash my hands.
Anytime I want to go and drop her, I used to drop her early in the morning, sometimes after 7. So I will drop her for this uncle, the owner of the school. Sometimes we will sit down the side of the school, he will ride Okada and go and open the door for us. And I will hand over her to him. I will say, thank you, sir, I'm going to take care of her. So I will left. After 3 days, which is the very day of this incident, on the 25th of February. So I went to school to pick her. This very day, they didn't bring her out to know that he know what he's doing. So I waited for this man. I didn't see him, so I said I should go. When I now get to school, this girl, the temperature was very hot and he cannot even talk to me. Anytime I went to school to pick her, she's the last slow rider to finish and will be sweating. And this girl can ride faster too. I will be wondering, why are you being this last? All the students have gone home. You will remain in class. When I now get home now with her uniform, I open her. She cannot even eat. Everywhere, from God is hearing me. Everywhere, nowhere remain inside her vagina, from up to down.
In the course of launching the sex offenders register as part of the government strategy to deal with the issue of rape in the country in December 2019, Mrs. Pauline Talon, Nigeria's Minister for Women's Affairs and Social Development, claimed that about 2 million Nigerians, mainly women and girls, are raped every year. The figures, although not proven, shows that no progress has been made in the combat against women's sexual violation. In similar light, the Minister of Women's Affairs and Social Development also made a shocking revelation during a courtesy visit to the Deputy Senate President, Ovie Omo Agege, in July 2020, that at least 3,600 rape cases were recorded during the lockdown enforced due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Even so, due to security fears at internally displaced persons camps, some women and girls have reportedly become vulnerable to sexual exploitation in the form of rape and survivor sex.
We are reaching out to all the state houses of assembly as well as the National Assembly, and with this collaboration now, the experiences of the Inspector General of Police and NAPTIP will be factored into how we can help them in revisiting the laws so that their work will be made a little bit easier, so that those who are rapists will be held accountable.
In relation, a protection assessment report published in May 2016 by the Borno State Protection Sector Working Group comprising national and international aid providers identified sexual exploitation, rape, and other sexual abuses as a major concern in 14 camps out of these 26 camps hosting IDPs in Borno State. Due to fear of stigmatization, most rape victims go unreported in Nigeria. But Not until a bill seeking to end stigmatization of victims of rape was pushed by the Senate sometime in June 2020. The bill seeks to uphold and protect the fundamental right to dignity and freedom of association as provided by the 1999 Constitution. The bill is titled Rape and Insurgency Victims Stigmatization Prohibition Bill 2019. It is being sponsored by Senator Mohammed Sani Musa. Despite current campaigns against rape, other forms of sexual abuse in the country, quite a number of perpetrators of rape walk about freely on the streets after committing the dastardly act due to poor investigation and inherent shortcomings in the criminal justice system. A month ago, a protest was held against sexual violence, which was organized by some concerned Nigerians. They took the protest to the police headquarters in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, where they charged the police to do in more prosecution and conviction of rape victims.
I'm a woman, I'm a human being. I've suffered different kinds of violence related to sexual and gender-based violence. And so I'm here to call on the government to declare a state of emergency on sexual and gender-based violence. We are tired of dying. We are tired of all of this. We want to be treated as human beings. We shouldn't count only during elections. We should count before elections.
If people keep abusing women and little girls, it shows that our country and our community have lost it. I believe that as a family unit, we need to go back and start educating boys. How are we raising our boy child?
Even so, police spokesman Frank Mba claimed the police force were prepared and taking necessary steps to charge rape victims, and also asked the families of the victims equally to be committed to getting justice for their victims.
We must end the connivance of relatives to shut down police investigation and to shut down prosecutions. We have seen so many cases where we have tidied up investigations involving rapes, only for the victim's family to turn around, reconcile and strike a deal with the suspects, and then they come back to the police to say they are no longer interested in the prosecution. And even when we insist on prosecuting, whether they support us or not, they get to the court and they turn around to become hostile witnesses.
A situation where a rape victim goes to the police to report, and the policeman or woman tells the victim to go and sort it out at home as it is a domestic case. And the implications of such response are the victims are left at the feet of the society without protection.
We have to tackle the mindset of the people who are perpetrating this crime. There's a disconnect somewhere. What is predisposing them to becoming rapists? It's either when they tried it when they were younger, people hid it in silence and kept quiet about it. But we say, don't further stigmatize the victims. Begin to shame the perpetrators of this rape. Bring them out to the open. Put them to shame. And when people label them as rapists, their names are in documents. This might be a way of curbing or making sure people, the ones who are coming, younger ones who are coming behind, will not indulge in such acts.
Looking at Nigeria today, irrespective of the laws, we have recorded low convictions for crimes against women. A criminal, even after much understanding of the punishment for a particular crime, will still commit the crime after he finds that there has been a poor rate of convictions of that particular crime. The time has come for us as a nation to stand up together against this crime. It is time to do something about it. Away from the conversations, we need a highly deterrent law that is effective enough to curtail these acts of wickedness called rape, so it doesn't become a culture.